the call to the member for Hughes.
Thank you. Deputy Speaker, I rise to speak in support of the Defence Legislation Amendment Naval Nuclear Propulsion Bill of 2023. And at the outset, I'd like to commend the speeches of both the Honourable Member for Fisher and the Honourable Member for Sturt on this same bill. This bill represents the first of many legislative reforms required to implement the commitment of the former coalition Morrison government, adopted by the Labor government, as part of the AUKUS security partnership between Australia and our good friends, the United States of America and the United Kingdom. I commend this government for continuing the work initiated by the former coalition government on the AUKUS partnership for the defence and national security of Australia. By way of background, Deputy Speaker, the AUKUS partnership was announced in September 2021 to promote, and I quote, a free and open Indo-Pacific that is secure and stable. The joint statement released by Australia, the United States and the United Kingdom in March of this year provided as follows. For more than a century, our three nations have stood shoulder to shoulder along with other allies and partners to help sustain peace, stability and prosperity around the world, including in the Indo-Pacific. We believe in a world that protects freedom and respects human rights, the rule of law, the independence of sovereign states and the rules-based international order. The steps we are announcing today will help us to advance these mutually beneficial objectives in the decades to come. So, Deputy Speaker, the first major initiative of AUKUS was the historic trilateral decision to support Australia acquiring conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarines, which are generally referred to now as SSNs. This involves the manufacture of at least 8 nuclear-powered submarines to be built in Adelaide. Australia must be sovereign-ready before it can operate a nuclear-powered submarine. This means Australia must achieve the capacity to be the sovereign owner, operator, maintainer and regulator of this game-changing capability. A series of steps will be required throughout the next decade with the support of the United Kingdom and the United States to achieve this as early as possible. Australia's target date for achieving the sovereign-ready milestone is the early 2030s. The Minister for Defence, Miles, described the bill as the first legislative step or tranche in the acquisition of the SSNs. By way of operation of the bill, Deputy Speaker, it seeks to amend the Australian Radiation Protection and Nuclear Safety Act, as well as the Environment Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act, to clarify that the current moratorium on civil nuclear power does not prevent the relevant regulators under those other legislation from exercising their regulatory powers and performing functions in respect of conventionally armed nuclear-powered submarines. In other words, amendments will not disrupt Australia's moratorium on civil nuclear power. And as my friend, the Honourable Member for Sturt, has mentioned, I will have something more to say about that towards the end. So this bill, Deputy Speaker, is in the nation's best interests. It concerns the future of our national security and reflects the AUKUS partnership. The one issue that has been raised clearly has been the issue about nuclear waste. The AUKUS nuclear-powered submarine pathway, in its recent report, said as follows: Australia's nuclear-powered submarines will generate a small amount of low-level radioactive waste, such as personal protective equipment, as part of routine maintenance and operations. There could also be a small amount of intermediate-level radioactive waste generated during these activities. Australia will, of course, manage all operational waste from these submarines. Developing Australia's workforce and know-how to manage radioactive waste from nuclear-powered submarines is an important part of building Australia's stewardship credentials. I am proud of the role, Deputy Speaker, that my electorate will play in assisting the government to deliver the AUKUS arrangements. That is, the role that ANSTO in Lucas Heights, with its demonstrated expertise in nuclear research, science and technology, will play to support the federal government to deliver the nuclear-powered submarines. Referred to as nuclear stewardship, is the responsible planning, operation, application, management and leadership of nuclear facilities and technologies to ensure that the highest levels of safety, security, safeguards and sustainability are achieved to maximise utilisation, benefit and assurance for the people of Australia. For more than 60 years, ANSTO has managed a nuclear reactor and applied nuclear science and technology to benefit Australia. Today, ANSTO operates Australia's only nuclear reactor, known as the OPAL, which is a multi-purpose reactor, one of the most advanced reactors in the world. ANSTO has ensured the safe management of Australia's nuclear facilities, which enables leading research, the advanced manufacturing of nuclear medicines, and irradiation of silicon ingots for the industry globally. Through ANSTO, Australia is highly regarded with international networks, including the International Atomic Energy Agency, and has already well-established research partnerships within both the UK and the USA. Over the next 18 months, ANSTO will work with the Submarine Task Force project to determine the optimal pathway for the delivery of a nuclear-powered submarine capability for Australia. This will involve working with our partners in the United Kingdom and the United States to intensively examine the requirements that underpin nuclear stewardship. The United Kingdom and the United States have set and maintained exemplary safety records in the operation of naval nuclear reactors for decades. Australia will leverage this experience and our own in safely operating nuclear research reactions at nuclear heights, its expertise over more than 60 years, to further build on that safety record. In terms of nuclear waste, ANSTO is already storing nuclear waste safely. I've had the privilege of touring ANSTO and have witnessed the storage capacity. For those on the opposite side who have intractably and irresponsibly refused to countenance investigating nuclear technology, I would, with respect, suggest that they take the opportunity to tour the ANSTO facilities to actually understand the work that is being performed there with some of the leading nuclear scientists and technical experts in the world. The potential that nuclear technology has to solve many of our current climate and energy issues must be properly investigated. We have the opportunity, indeed, as members of Parliament, we have the obligation in this place to consider every possible avenue available to us in 2023 to safeguard Australians' futures. It is what we have been elected to do. And I still fail to understand why, on the other side, from the Prime Minister down, there is a mule-headed type stubbornness to investigate what nuclear technology could mean for us to reach net zero by 2050 and for us to address our current energy crisis. In conclusion, Deputy Speaker, for all of the reasons I've outlined, I commend this bill to the House.